Ah, the crop duster. Man, it has been a long time with this car. As a matter of fact, it dates all the way back to episode 40 of Roadkill, which is actually when you might have seen Steve Dulcich for the very first time, because Finnegan and I went up to his farm and we stabbed a 440 in it, and it was pretty awesome. And then we came back in episodes of Roadkill Garage and we installed a 383, and the thing was quick. It ultimately ended up running 1160s in the quarter mile. As a matter of fact, the car was so great, we decided not to live with the rust anymore. It actually had a big old hole in the A-pillar, and so the scheme to paint it began. That's when Steve first did the episode of Roadkill Garage nearly by himself, where he began the bodywork on this thing. And it has been literally 2 years of excuses and all sorts of things getting in the way. But finally, on this episode of Roadkill Garage, we are one step closer to actually finishing the Duster.
Cutting a little strip out of that, but I'm gonna turn it to bare metal first because the strip's gonna be so small, it'll be hard to grind once I'm done, and I really don't want to thin it too much. I can't believe I got the patch done on the very first try.
Nice work, Freiburger.
Oh, thanks. Once I tack it in there, I'm gonna be able to like shape it around to the metal perfectly as I go. And then of course the grinder work will help, and then of course the slathering of the ritual Bondo. See my foot protector? Well, I'll say you don't want me doing body work on your car. Over here, the tacks are pretty good. Down here, the sheet metal was just so thin up here that I had to stack some welds, and when I grind it, I'm sure it's gonna have some holes that'll need to be addressed, but it's good enough.
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's one of the toughest things to do when it comes to painting a car. Like, you get the thing painted, it's really, really nice, but if you want perfection, you're gonna have to color sand it and buff it. Now, color sanding actually means you're physically gonna sand your brand new paint job, and it has to be done correctly so you don't ruin it. In the old days, you would use these kinds of tools, and you would do that by hand, usually wet sanding with 600 or 800 or 1,000 grit, and it progressively over the years, it got finer and finer. These days, you actually use your DA sander, and that's the same kind of sander you use for a lot of body work and stuff like that. What you do is you replace your regular DA backing pad with this special hook and loop setup, and then you can use this super expensive hook and loop, which is basically Velcro sandpaper. Now, I've got 1,000 grit and 1,500. 1,000 is probably a little coarser than a lot of guys like these days, but it'll really level a lot better than a finer grit sandpaper. Hold it, hold it. I think I did a better job on the underneath of the trunk lid than the top.
Okay, go slow.
That's actually not too bad. What I'm doing here is preparing for a blackout treatment on the car, and what we're going for is very similar to what Chrysler offered on 1971 Dusters as an optional package. So to prepare for the paint, I'm scuffing the areas with 320 grit dry paper. That may seem a little coarse, but I can assure you it'll be just fine for a semi-flat or flat urethane. The car is sanded and ready for the blackout. I also had the hood to do, so I've got that sanded down pretty nicely. I'm gonna paint this first, and then back to the car.
Wow, I actually can't believe this is about to happen.
I think it looks pretty good. I finally got the hang of painting the flat black.
This is the official final moment.
I know.
There we go. Steve, 2 years. Done!
Yeah, that's quick, man.
You did it.
Dude, yeah.
It looks amazing. The blackout is so awesome.
This car is pretty badass.
This is the third car you've painted for me, you know that, right?
Yeah.
You think I should give it back?
What?
The crop duster.
No way, man.
No?
You're stuck with it. I've got the orange duster.
Really?
Yeah. I told you I wanted to paint the crop duster, and
done.
It's painted. But thanks, buddy.
It's really awesome, Steve.
Yeah.
You did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
It's all downhill from here. Here it is, the engine for the crop duster. Now, The crop duster had a 383 last time it ran, and this is the same 383 block. In fact, Freiburger's had that 383 block since he was a teenager. We had rebuilt it a long, long time ago. It ran really good. It ran 11s in the crop duster, but since we had it out, we decided to upgrade it. We ordered a stroker crankshaft from 440 source. We got their rods as well, and we got custom pistons made for it. That turned this 383 into a 440 because it's bored out 65 over. The top end here is a set of Edelbrock heads that were CNC ported by Modern Cylinder Head. It's got a single plane Edelbrock Victor manifold. That proved to make more horsepower on the dyno than a two-plane. It made 575 horsepower in the form right here, and that's with a flat tappet cam. It's got a custom comp flat tappet. It's 241, 247 duration at 50 and about 575 lift. The reason it has so much lift is because 1.6 to 1 high ratio rocker arms from Harlan Sharp. Those are off the engine now because I had to borrow them for another dyno test on another engine. So what I'm gonna do is just button this thing back up and bolt it to the transmission, and it'll be ready to drop back into the crop duster.
I don't know how he expects me to vacuum with this thing.
No, you just need a new filter, David. Here, install this, and your luck will change.
Oh, this isn't Gas Monkey Garage?
I don't like handling the dirty old filter. I will install the new one.
No, you can handle the dirty old one.
No! Ah, look at that. Don't drip it all over the floor.
How do you get it off?
It pulls off. Ah! Dude! Why did you just do that? I told you it'll boing off of there. You were pushing it from the wrong end. Here, you gotta, no! You can't just put it in there. You gotta dump. You know what this is. I know exactly what this is, Freiburger.
I'm gonna never have to change the filter again.
I get it.
Firewall is safe, core support is safe.
I think you need to pull it towards you.
The headers we're using here are 1 3/4 inch tubes from TTI Exhaust. The question everybody asks about the crop duster is, are you using those headers that you bashed up? But that was with the 440 engine, which is a taller deck height. And this one's lower, and they fit gooder.
More gooder?
Man, looks like the engine's in. Feels like we're almost done. This radiator is actually a Mopar B-body large style radiator that Dulcich forced to fit in the A-body.
Look at that power steering pumps up against the fan motor.
Wow, this thing fits tight,
Yeah.
but good.
Since Freiburger's pouting about butchering the decal at the back of the car, I'm gonna have to install the drive shaft. Now, this drive shaft is all brand new because the old one was too short, and it also had light-duty U-joints, so this one's been upgraded with 7290s front and back, which is the good ones. Well, Freiburger, if it cheers you up, the drive shaft fits better.
Good. Wow, almost looks like a car again.
Well, theoretically, all we have to do is plug in the ignition switch and see if this thing will run.
Theoretically, yeah.
Dulcich, start that engine. Crop duster lives again! We got our 440 cubic inch stroker big block installed in our 1970 Plymouth Duster, and now we need to make it a running, driving car.
Yes.
And I think the first wrenching is gonna be front suspension, yeah?
Yeah, actually, I think I will attack the front suspension, and I will have you attack the brake plumbing.
Oh, he always assigns me the labor that he doesn't want to do.
What?
Okay.
You love putting in the line lock.
Let's commence with cleanup.
Okay. That's one job done. I'm going to be putting in these QA1 double adjustable shocks, and even though they look brand new, these are actually the ones that were on the car before. And I've got to say, I'm pretty proud of myself for keeping all of this stuff together. I've also got the braking system going on, and most of the suspension is going to be completed before you know it. Don't blink or you're gonna miss it.
I think I've made a decision, which is at least 50% of this job. The problem now is I know I'm gonna mount my roll control down here, but I can't get a drill motor in there, and we don't have a 90-degree drill motor. And I think what I'm gonna do is line it up perfectly with this factory stamped hole that I can see from the other side so that I can hopefully get this thing level, which I probably won't do, and then I'm gonna be really irritated by that. That will land there. Now I gotta drill the other hole. Let's see if I got it straight. This is the moment of truth. By eyeball, that seems good enough. Right now I have to hog those holes out, bolt this in lightly, and then figure out if I can actually make those tough brake lines to go out to the wheels.
You can polish these by hand, but they're still gonna look dull, I can assure you of that. So what you need to do is a pro-style polishing job. I've got a loose polishing bonnet in my drill press set at high speed right now. How you use it, you turn on the buffer, apply the compound, which comes in a hard stick, and then you just start polishing. Now the thing is, you've always got to get the wheel turning off an edge. If it catches an edge, all bets are off. You'll break the piece and ruin it. I've got the reveal moldings all polished up, and I've got new mounting clips installed, so this should just hammer right in place.
Yay! That took about 2 hours, but completely worth it. Completely restored, new foams, and oh, look at that. Totally worth it. Mint. This is my late model master cylinder. This is my aftermarket push rod, which has a groove in it just like the original old Mopars that takes a little rubber bushing in there, and that rubber bushing snaps into the end of the master cylinder to keep the push rod from falling out when the brake pedal retracts. The problem is this master does not have that groove in it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. This master that's similar has the groove in it. You can see though, this one is a 1-inch bore right there, and this one over here is bigger than that. And so I'm gonna have less hydraulic pressure with this new master cylinder and probably not as good a pedal feel on this deal, but this one has the snappy thingy in it. And so there's just gonna be a lot of fiddling here to get this to be the right length and to retain in the master cylinder. The success is already here. How's the alignment? Pretty good. Feels weird.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if this carburetor is that great because we tried it on the 56 and we didn't like it.
I know. But man, we're running and driving and the crowd does
There
no
we are.
harm.
Dude,
It basically never ends.
no, dude. I was like, he's gonna lift. Okay, Freiburger.